a mess. Whatever. Hello, everyone out there in the world. How are you today? It's September. It is, what's today? Wednesday. Finished a nice long day of work and I'm having a glass of wine. Because let me tell you, the subject we're about to talk about, I need a glass of wine. Suicide Prevention Month, September. We are in September. It is Suicide Awareness Prevention Month, whichever it is. And I read about it this morning and I was like, oh, and I wanted to share my story. And when I thought about it this morning, I immediately started crying. And I was like, oh God, I cannot start this. I can't do this video because I'll cry and it will be not good. And it's a very, very serious topic. But I thought about it more throughout the day and I thought, you know what? I need to share my story because it's important that people share their stories of pain and that we take away the stigma of suicide thoughts, and people need to get help. So let's get into my story. So about 2 years ago, I was the lowest of the low in my life. And I seriously thought about killing myself. And this is so crazy because I'm a very positive person. Anyone who knows me is like, Lindsley's always the life of the party. She's always the fun one. She's always the one who is glasses half full. Always think positively. Always been the one to bring everyone else up and say, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna be all right, everything's gonna be fine, what can I do to help, all of this stuff. Oh, but you know what? Life will pummel you and things will happen. And I was going through a really, really horrific divorce. My ex was just such a piece of poop. There are so many other words I'd like to use, but he was just a horrible human being. And his life, he was very unhappy. He had gone through depression himself. He was unhappy that we didn't have children. We couldn't have children. He didn't want to adopt, yada, yada, yada. His career wasn't where he wanted it to be. So he, long story short, he just decided that he wanted to blame everything on me and hate me and just hate me. And we went through a divorce. I decided that we should get a divorce because things were really bad. And he decided that he just wanted to make it his personal mission to destroy my life. So we started the divorce proceedings, and I also wasn't working because I had helped my sister launch a company and had taken the risk as a startup to not have any salary. So actually I was working, but I had no salary. So I had no money. And now the divorce was starting and I needed help. And I got a job. I went back in the corporate world and I got a job in-house doing PR, which was great. But my boss was a horrible person and was making all these mistakes and was trying to throw me under the bus for all of her mistakes and problems. So it was a very hard time. I moved in with my sister. They were so kind to take me in and I have a very loving sisters. And she took me in, which was amazing. And I had a guest room, so it wasn't like I was homeless or anything. But when you go from a 3-bedroom house with all of your belongings around you to a tiny little room, it's very, very humbling and it's very, very difficult. And I left a lot of my belongings at my house with my ex because he was such a scary person that I really was scared to go in and get things. And I also had nowhere to put them because I didn't have a place to go. And my sister didn't have any storage. So I'm just giving you all the backstory because things happen to you in your life and some things are your fault. And of course, it was my fault to take the financial risk to start the business with my sister. So I was in a very financially difficult time. And it was my fault I married the idiot. So yeah, we make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to do things that are stupid, and you have to own up to just the fact that it's okay that you made mistakes and you're not perfect. However, the divorce proceedings were taking forever. The lawyers kept telling me one thing, and then things would happen, like we would get delayed. And I didn't realize, and if you go through a divorce, you will unfortunately realize this, that they can play a lot of games, the lawyers, and they can delay things a lot. So just because they say, oh, you've got a court date in June, that mean you might never get there. So my ex was pulling all the punches and was doing every tactic that he and his dirty lawyers could do, and it was working to delay things. So I was on like this was after like months and months of court stuff and lawyer stuff, just blowing money out the window. I had to borrow money from my sister. Thank you, sister. Borrow money from my other sister. Thank you, sister. My father refused to help me financially, which was really bad because I was banking on him helping me, and he refused to help. So that was a big blow as well from family. So I was just trying to get by, and I got let go from my job because my boss was horrible and I wouldn't put up with her crap. So here I am, jobless, poor, no really home, and living out of my sister's small room, guest room. I know that sounds, you're like, oh, it's a guest room. Oh, quit crying. But it is hard. Whatever situation is, it's hard. So I finally had a court date, and after all the delays, my lawyers are like, no, this is actually going to happen. This is the court date and it's going to happen. And I was like, okay, because I have nothing left. I can't take another minute of this. I am at my wit's end, and I can't handle anymore. Meanwhile, at the same time, I'm supposed to be out interviewing. Yeah. And saying how fabulous I am and how qualified I am and how confident I am and how strong I am. And it is brutal. It is brutal. When you have zero self-confidence and you've been belittled and brought down to nothing by a horrible, horrible man, it is really, really hard to go and then sell yourself. So I was having a really hard time with that. Anyways, let's have a sip of wine. So we go to court, and I am like hobbling to the finish line. Like literally, I'm like dragging my weary, battered body to the finish line. Like, this is it, court date, great, let's get this over with. Go in, we're waiting. My lawyer comes out and says to me, oh, the case before you is a domestic abuse, has domestic abuse in it, which means that this case is going to go all day, which means that we're going to get bumped. And when you get bumped and they assign you a new court date, it doesn't mean the next week or the next month. It could mean 4 months. 4 months. It could mean 6 months. So I'm not kidding you. She comes out and she's like, yeah, your court date's been moved. The next available date for all the stupid lawyers and your stupid ex, and what you can do, which I was like, I'll do any day, is 5 months from now. My sister was with me. I'm gonna start crying. We got into her car. We started driving home, and I started hyperventilating and crying. And I was like, I can't do this another day. I can't live in this life another day. And I didn't say anything to my sister, but at that moment, I literally contemplated, I wanted to like open the car door while we were driving and just jump out. Just stop the pain, stop the agony, stop the craziness, stop the madness, just stop everything. And I really, really thought about suicide, and I thought about how can I do it? When can I do it? And you think about how, right? You're like, for me, and this might sound funny, but I thought of pulling a Thelma and Louise. Like, get in my car one day and drive off a cliff. I wouldn't hurt anyone that way. It would be deadly, so I would die. And it wouldn't be a slow death, it'd be quick, and it'd kind of be this like freeing moment. Don't do this, by the way. And I obviously didn't do it, but don't do it. But it's what I thought. And I was like, okay, you know what? I could do that. I could get in my car and I could just drive off a cliff and kill myself. And I think that the burden that would be on other people would stop, because I really felt like a burden on everybody. I borrowed money from my sisters. I borrowed money from my friend Robert. You are an angel. And everyone I talked to, and every time I was with people, I was just such a Debbie Downer. You know, they're like trying to make me happy, and I was just like, oh, I can't get happy, honey. There is nothing that's gonna get me happy. And when you're living with someone else, and it's your sister, especially your family member, all they want to do is make you feel better. So there's also this weird pressure that I couldn't be my authentic self and show my emotions, because then she'd feel bad, right? I'm sure you guys can relate to this. Your loved ones will feel bad if they don't feel like they're helping you, or if they don't feel like that you're sad. So there was part of me that really was hard, because like I couldn't even fake happiness, but I felt like I had to feel like fake it, right? Pretend that I'm okay, when I literally just wanted to like sit in a ball and cry all day long. Luckily, I wasn't drinking myself to death. My family has alcoholism, and so I was being careful. You know, of course, there were nights when I was like having lots of wine, but I wasn't going crazy with that. So that's not what I wanted to do. But I seriously considered suicide, and about how I walked through the steps, right? How would you do it? And then how would it affect people? You know, like how would that affect my family? How would that affect my friends? To be honest, you know, I have some very close friends that I know it would really be devastating, but everyone gets on with their life. And I know it sounds awful, but they get on with their life. My sisters, I thought of my sisters, because I love them so much and we're so very close. I thought they would, it'd be really hard for them if I had killed myself. And it would make them really sad. So I thought, okay, you know, I said I wasn't going to cry, right? So that was something I really thought about. But when you have no reason to live, you know, I don't have children. I wanted children. Didn't have a job. Didn't really have a passion, you know, that I was like really obsessed about that made me happy. And I didn't have a home. So I was like, what the hell do I have to live for? Nothing. Really nothing to live for. I have no, you know, love in my life. I have no man who's going to be like missing me. So just friggin' end it. Just get it over with. So we're talking today about this because I didn't do it. And I want to give a shout out to my very dear friend, Christina, call her Tina, because she friggin' helped save my life. I called her. She called me after the court stuff. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. I can't handle this anymore. I'm losing it. I just want everything to stop. I just want it to stop. I just want to be alone. And I just want everything to stop. And she offered her place in Vermont. And she was like, go to Vermont. And I was like, she had a condo there. And I was like, I'll be alone. She said, yeah, you'll be alone. Give yourself time to think. You know, just think. Go and think. And be alone. You want to be alone? Go be alone. And I was like, you know what? It's exactly what I want to do. So I called my dad and I was like, I need to go to Vermont. Maybe you think it's irresponsible. I can't look for a job right now. I am at my wit's end and I need to be alone. And my dad thankfully was understanding. He's like, all right, go. So picked up, flew to Vermont. My friend Tina even gave me her car, her extra car. could save my life, man. So she put me in the car, sent me to Vermont. She said, I want to tell you one thing. She said, I don't care what time it is. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. If you are thinking suicidal thoughts, you must call me or get in the car and drive to me, or call me and I'll drive to you. That's the promise you have to make to me. And I said, okay, that promise I can make. And I got to Vermont, and it was April, so it was still winter. And I was in the middle of the woods. There's no one around. And I thought to myself, I'm either gonna get through this and think through my thoughts and get through this, or I'm not. Or I'm just gonna end it and I'm not gonna get through it. I'm not. And I am very grateful that I had the support I had and the time to take to go and be by myself and think through all my thoughts and figure out my thoughts and figure out me and figure out my life a little bit. I still haven't figured it out. No, that takes forever, honey. But it was really important for me to have that time. And I wrote about suicide. I read poetry. I wrote about suicide, wrote about how I felt. Some very, very dark moments. I still have dark moments. And this is going to sound really weird, but it was kind of comforting to know that should anything get really, really, really bad, I will just pull a Thelma and Louise. And I don't think I ever will. But it was a weird feeling to know that I kind of had this weird backup plan. And that sounds crazy, but it was comforting to me to be like, okay, you know what? If all else fails, it's an option. But this is something not to be taken lightly. And if you are thinking suicidal thoughts, because we all do, I don't know anyone who hasn't thought suicidal thoughts. I'm sorry, I don't. Maybe all my friends are crazy. I don't know. But it's really important that you go talk to somebody or figure out what you need. If you need to be alone, if you need to, whatever you need to do, find the right people to help you do that. I had a friend who was going through a really, really bad marriage, and he had no one to talk to. And he went online and he found a forum, and it was about people contemplating suicide. And he started talking to someone, and that person became his best friend. And that person, they helped each other through it. So it is about that. It's about people, and it's about connection, and it's about finding people to help you. Whatever that's going to be. You can remain anonymous. That's a great thing about forums and online stuff, and it's in hotlines, is you can remain anonymous. So if you have whatever embarrassment you have, whatever you feel really guilty or badly about, there's forums where you can remain completely anonymous, but you need to talk it out, whether it's to the wall and to yourself, to the mirror, or to someone else. But you have to get your thoughts together, and you have to focus on them. And I really feel sorry for those people out there who have the craziest stressful lives. They've got kids, they've got jobs that don't allow them to have 5 minutes to themselves. So they're just on a constant go, 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 go. And they have no time to really, really collect their thoughts. And it's about collecting your thoughts, and you've got to find that time. And if you've got kids and you've got a full-time job and all this other stuff, find somebody who will give you some time. Come and take care of the kids for an hour, whatever it's going to be. And you've got to collect your thoughts and really think about your life. And I'm still trying to find meaning. I'm still trying to find meaning in life. I admit it. I don't have children, don't have a spouse. It can be very difficult to find meaning in life. How am I going to change the world? Is it going to matter that I exist? So these are the things I think about, and that is part of suicidal thoughts is, what is my meaning? What am I doing here? What am I about? Am I worth anything? So those are the things that you have to think about yourself, and also to figure out that support system. And again, if you don't have a support system, go online and find someone to talk to. There are people out there who will listen. And if you do have a support system, whoever that is, only needs to be one person. Go to that one person and say, you don't have to tell them you're having suicidal thoughts, but you need to say, I am at my wit's end, I'm losing it, and I need some friggin' help. And if that person loves you and cares about you, they will help you. They will help you. I got help. I was very, very lucky to have help in my family and with my friends. And I'm so grateful to you. The people that I mentioned, I'm so very, very grateful. I love you. I will love you forever. But we're all trying to figure out our lives. Not every day is rainbows and sunshine. Nope. I have a lot of dark days where it's like, what am I doing here on this planet? What's my purpose? What is the point? So I hope that it has helped somebody, anybody. If you want to reach out to me, please do. You can message me. I'm here to listen. I'm here to do whatever I can. As someone who actually thought about suicide, I'm here to help you. That's it, guys. Cheers. Be strong. Be yourself. Feel your feelings. And own it and be it. And get help. Okay. Bye, everyone.